I studied in grad school, but I would be at a loss.
Well, that's the reason why I'm wearing this today. Is I'm letting people that we can help them through this process. That I can look the part. I can speak the words. I don't have the background like you do, and that's why I have you on the team, and that's why you earn this amazing spot on the team. Is you have that experience.
Well,
you wear the collar proudly. You have all the experience behind it.
I think, like the wedding I did with Rabbi Meir, he went to rabbinical school.
Right.
And just because you put a yarmulke on,
right,
or put a prayer shawl on, does not qualify you as a rabbi. Mm-hmm. And so, what he brings to a couple, where one of them is Jewish, is a sensitivity and appreciation for their faith tradition.
Right.
And he can speak to them and reassure them and guide them. And I think I bring that as well with Catholics. So I'm happy to provide that service.
And you've done a great job. And the couples, what we hear from couples after you do their ceremony is remarkable. Because you've captured the essence of what their belief is, the way they wanted to get it done. And you've made them and their families very happy.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I think if I capture the essence of their belief, it's because it's my belief too.
Right.
And so, in that case, it's natural. And, and I'm glad to offer them that service, because one of the sad things is the people who end up alienated from their faith, alienated from their faith tradition because of some technicality or some rule.
Right. Even same-sex couples.
Yeah.
We have no problem giving them these blessings because they've earned the right. They have that belief. Just because the church doesn't honor their beliefs. I've seen you do ceremonies for some same-sex couples, mm-hmm. and they never believed that they could get this blessing.
Well, and I think I think eventually the church will get there, maybe in another 50, 60 years. Mm-hmm. But the way you get there is by realizing the need. It's amazing. When we read the Gospel, Jesus had a conversation with a Samaritan woman by the well. Mm-hmm. And at the time, it says, Jesus was Jewish. The apostles were Jewish. And in Judaism at the time, the scandal of the Samaritans was that they had taken the covenant that they had received from Moses, and they had mixed in pagan practices.
Right.
And so observant Jews saw the Samaritans as worse than pagans.
Okay. Because
the pagans were in darkness, they were ignorant. But you were once one of us. Mm-hmm. And you have now polluted Judaism with pagan ideas. So you're worse than a pagan because they're just ignorant. They're just ignorant. But you had it.
Right.
And you messed it up. But Jesus speaks to the woman. Because he doesn't see a Samaritan. He sees a human being.
Right.
She's a human being. And I think that passage captures how God relates with us. Mm-hmm. All the major world religions believe that God is love. God is compassion. And I can't imagine a parent saying to a son or a daughter, "You're no longer my son. You're no longer my daughter," right, because of X, Y, or Z.
Right.
And as the scriptures say, if you with all of your sins know how to give what is good to your children, how much more so than your Heavenly Father,
right,
the Creator. That God doesn't make junk.
Right.
And He made us. And so God comes to us like He came to the Samaritan woman. He takes us where we are, mm-hmm, and He walks with us.
That's why the whole belief in our company is we judge you based on who you are, or we don't judge you based on who you are. We judge you based on your heart for each other. Your love for each other is the basis of everything that we do here. And if you're in love, it doesn't matter what your belief is. It doesn't matter what your sex is. If you have that love for that person who's standing across from you, who's holding your hand, who wants to put that ring on your finger, then who are we to judge?
Well, the thing about judging is, at the end of the day, it's like a parent. You take a child where they're at and you walk at their pace. Mm-hmm. You don't walk faster. God does that with us. And I think we need to do that with each other. Mm-hmm. That I'm not here to judge anyone. I think as somebody who has theological training, who has the faith I possess, I want to help people to attain their potential.
Right.
And so we start with reality as it is, and we move forward. I think that
Can't really change reality.
well, no, I mean
That's what we feel.
we can improve.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you're talking about same-sex couples. You're talking about a human being.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking and whether they're divorced, whether they're same-sex, whether they just met and they've been high school sweethearts.
Right.
You're talking about a human being, and that person wants to enter into a loving, covenanted relationship with another person and walk through life together.
Right.
And if you say to somebody, you can't have that, you better have a damn good reason.
Right.
You better have a really good reason why this couple, you want to deprive them of that. And in the case of same-sex couples, how can you say to a human being, spend the rest of your life alone?
Right.
You know, buy a lab.
Exactly.
You know, say a rosary, take cold showers. And this is a problem because you're reducing human sexuality to an act.
Right.
And human sexuality is much more than an act.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were married in 1956. The last thing I think of when I think about my mom and dad's marriage is what they do in the bedroom.
Right.
I mean, their marriage represents two people who love each other and who have faithfully walked together through life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's marriage.
That's right.
You know.
And we're willing to do that. We're willing to give people that chance. That chance that sometimes the church may not be able to give them. The chance that society may not want to give them. We give them that chance.
Well, you know, and it's interesting you say church. I think the hierarchy may not want to give
Right.
it to them. I think the Second Vatican Council said we are the church. So, in my experience of Catholics is they tend to be, much more progressive about social issues than even the average American.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly more than some of the Protestant counterparts in the pews. But I think that's a good thing, because what that means is something that was said in the gospel trickled down to here.
Right.
And people see that the heart of the gospel is compassion. And that that ultimately the truths, the takeaway from religion, because I think of religion is like the training wheels on the bicycle of spirituality.
Right.
It gives us a starting point, it gives us a cosmology, it gives us a how-to to begin, but ultimately authentic spirituality requires a personal response. And really, ultimately, how we treat others, how we treat ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the greatest commandment, you shall love the Lord your God with all your mind, heart, and soul, and your neighbor as yourself. People forget the yourself part.
Right.
But if you don't love yourself, you can't love her or him, and you can't love God, which is a disembodied, you know, being here. So I think that it's about transformation. It's about compassion. It's about love, which is what marriage is.
And that's why we're here. We're here to talk about love. We're here to talk to couples about their love for one another. We want to give them the opportunity to experience the love that they've grown to believe and give it to them in a way that's fun, that's romantic, and that's spiritual as they choose.
Well, your wedding should be a day that you savor.
Mm-hmm.
I tell couples, this is like a big family feast, dinner, like Thanksgiving. You want to set a beautiful table.
Right.
You want to put delicious food on that table. But at the end of the day, what really matters is who is seated at the table.
Right.
And this, I tell people I've seen one perfect wedding in my life. That was Princess Diana's. The marriage, not so good.
Right.
But the wedding was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, anything made by human hands is imperfect.
Right.
And if you become a slave to perfection, you will not enjoy your wedding day or your life.
Right.
Kind
Kind of got to go with the flow.
You know, these things are
Like
good.
Moses did.
Yeah. But you know, you have to let go of those things. Something I remember one wedding I had a 3-year-old ring bearer.
Mm-hmm.
And the time in the ceremony came for the best man to grab the rings. And he went to take the rings, and the little boy goes, "No!" He said, "Mommy said these were very valuable, and I was to give them to no one but her." And so he's like a little soldier. He was not going to get... And so down the aisle of the church, you hear clack, 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 clack. Because the mom had to come and untie the little bows and give the rings to the best man. You know, that wasn't staged. That was natural. They'll be talking about that 30 years from now.
Exactly.
But, you know, that's a human moment. And I tell couples, look, 20 years from now, no one will remember what your colors were or what entree you served for dinner or lunch. What they're going to remember is the both of you. You know, and that the wedding celebration is supposed to be that, a celebration that's supposed to reflect your values, your belief, and your love. And ultimately, what it is the inauguration of your life as a couple before your loved ones and society in general.
Exactly.
You're saying, from this day forward, we are a couple.
Right. And come to the party afterwards because we are celebrating.
That's
this.
right, which is always nice.
I always look at it as the show and then the after party. So, you know, we're putting on a show for everybody, showing them your love. Everybody stands up and claps at the end. You walk away and then you have a big party at the end.
It's a celebration.
Yes.
And you should enjoy and savor the day.
And we help you write the show yourself.
We do.
We help you write that show. We have certain things that we like to do in the show. We give you the basic template, and we fill that template in and create the perfect wedding.
I think that each couple is unique.
Right.
And so what works for this couple doesn't work for... I mean, we don't wear the same size clothes. We don't wear the same size shoes.
It always comes back to the shoes.
Yeah. So, you know, we work with them because it's supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be something that reflects you. And it's supposed to be your values. And it is your family, your friends, your relatives you're starting your life with.
And that's what it's about. And I thank God that you're on the team.
Thank you. Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
And so if you're looking for that Catholic flavor in your ceremony, we've got the perfect ingredients. We got Father Geoff. We have some other priests on the team. We can do a full Catholic Mass, a Catholic ceremony, or a Catholic light ceremony. Let us know what you want. We'll bring that to you. We'll bring you the belief that you want in the ceremony. And we'll make it fun, we'll make it romantic, and we'll make it just the way that you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right.